Nagabenta ki khubor baman kasni pet but subscribe ya u Antor News. Kublai phi baro kinigilong ki khubor bamta kasni. Umintri rangba ka jylla Meghalaya u konrat ki sangma hakasni palai ula ong ba ka jylla kelas dang ya ki jingïarap ban kyntiew ya ka jingïarap bat ka jingïarap bat ka Japan da ka ba pendon kam ya ka jingïadai ka baklan hapdeng ki arliang mamla. Ka ba ka India ka ya sam bat ka Japan. Ngingit scam ha ka jingïarap ka jingshania bat ka jingïadai ka baklan bat ka Japan umintri rangba adu jongi badan buram u Narendra Modi ula shim ya kawai pakawai ka sinjam ban pentikna ba ka nongrim balabu haptengki arteli ki jait benriu kan ai jingmentoy ya baro an na kabenta ka roy kapar ong umintri rangba ka jylla ha bakran ha ka jingyalang ka ba Sun India Japan conclave kabla long ha Guwahati ula kenthoru ba ka jingyo I jingai jung umintri rangba du kari kala penslur ya ke Meghalaya ban shim kabu ya ke jingïadai ke baklan ba bat ke Japan. Ngimdai ke jylla ke bahe rengi don la ke jong kabor bat ke lat. Ngi penle jumut banyak chakmat ha ke lenti jongi ngin sale katu kat ni ki kam. Henry ngin le bha ya ki ula penrap. Haba ya kren halor ke Economic Partnership Agreement EPA kabatmu ban penklan ya ke jingïadai ha ke liang ke yok ka kon hapdeng ki arteli ki ri da ka kyntiew ya ka khayi pateng bat ka jingbai tingka umintri rangba ka jylla ula ong ba ka jylla kala plilat iki samla jongka banit shahi kai na ka benta ban yok kam yok jam ha Japan ula banjur ba ka jingbun pat samla jongka Meghalaya ka dei ka bor jongka sedang na ki katu kat ne kinas ki bala syathung ka jylla menta kala plilat ka bahe bha da ka thong ban hikai hadu lai hajar mut kinas hagis nemban wan ha ka basdang ki samla kim shamna shania ya kitna thungkam namar ba ka jinglut jingsep ha ka jinghikai ka long ka bahe ka sarkar jylla kala tuklar bat penbet ya ka jing'e ngisiu menta ya ka bai jinghikai bat kumjuru ban pentikna ya ka jingsngan jungki samla jongi ula ong umintri rangba ka jylla ula penpau ba ka jylla kadang wadru ya kilat gilenti hakarep karyang bat kaladep ban ya trailang bat kawai ka company na Japan ka Yachts Corporation Company Ltd ha kani ka jinglet jong ula don ka jingyakran bat u ono keichi unong mi khmat bakar pang jong ka Japan Shari India bat ka Hima Bhutan ha kati ka jingyak kendo kelyaklan halor ka jingpen klan ya ka jingïadai hapdeng ka India ba ka Japan lingba ka Meghalaya bat ban beteng ya ka jingïtrailang ban pendap ya ka jingduna jungki briu ha ka kot ka khya na ka benta ka Japan umintri rangba ka jylla ula ka dawru ya ka jingking phulbari shadubri kum ka nuksa ba kumno la banthau ya ka economic corridor da ka ba penyaso ya ka bat ki surok ki baladan lupa ha ka than chatai lammi ngi bat katu kat ni ki surok ki badan hak haput bat ka Bangladesh da ka ba penkiu ya ka dor jong ka jingbai tingka.
We've been able to grow our relationship not only with Japan but in the region and with other countries, and we hope and look forward.
Adopted what we call a life cycle approach to a child's life, which means that we don't start thinking about the person only when they are in their teens or when they are old.
We will work with few nations, but we will work with them well. And when we work with those nations also, we will focus on few things and do them well. Very, very clear that Japan is one nation where the Northeast and especially Meghalaya will focus and work towards, and to attend these programs, and even this program has been prompted by that focus and that thought process that we have. And yes, it started with my time when I was a member of parliament for about a year and a half, and I had made a visit and along with Vicky and other members of parliament, and it was a huge learning experience for me to really be open up to the entire work culture, the development aspect, the opportunities that our two nations share. And Ambassador, I was mentioning to him that we are already doing a lot of work. We have laid the foundations, I should say. We are putting in.
Two people through the technology and the variety that they would want in the way that they would want it. As I said, shiitake mushroom, buckwheat. We've started planting and growing buckwheat again in collaboration with Japan, and we're going to take that forward. So I think agriculture is one area we're very keen to, which we already are working in. Second last in terms of the next idea which we have. Tourism is of course a big thing for us, and last year we had Japanese traditional custom of hanami in our cherry blossom, and there were these studios from Japan, the TL studio from Tokyo in Japan was engaged, where we was showcasing different products from Japan, different restaurants were there, different experience. Happy to work forward in. The last point, which I feel is something that we really need to learn and collaborate and get ideas from a nation like Japan, is in the terms of education. And the moment the person is conceived in a mother's womb, the brain of the child grows 80% between the age of 1 and 8. The most important psychological impact that the youths that go through is between the age of 8 to 13, that's the adolescence age. And then of course teenage comes in. Now for us as a government and as a policy, as policymakers, we start thinking about the child only when they're in their teens and say, now metric exam has come, let's see whether they do good or not. And we don't realize that we have lost that period of time when they were 1 to 8, when their brain, the cognitive capacity, thinking capacity was growing. We need to invest in that. Meghalaya has a program called the Early Childhood Development Program, which we have tied up with the ADB, and we have got the Adolescence Program, which we have tied up with the World Bank, and both these programs are taking place. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this to you is that whenever I have read a bit from the Japanese, policy making and all, there's a lot of investment that is made by Japan in the younger days on aspects of value, principle, discipline, and way of life. And for us, we don't do that or don't realize it, only when things are going wrong. So I think there's a collaboration that should happen. We need to learn from how these aspects of discipline, principle, as I said, hard work, and respect for so many things. I think there are important aspects that we need to inculcate in the young generation from a very, very young age, especially when they are in the early childhood development, even before they start going to school. So rather than them starting to learn maths and science from class 3, 4, with the age of 4, 5, 6, I think these investments are important, and Meghalaya is doing it. We've just started. We're not saying we're far ahead. We're just starting. But I think this is one area I will be really focusing on, and I wish to really find a way in which we can partner to really bring up this entire system so that we're able to produce. So we have a very small population. But my idea being that our small state and our small population, if trained well, we can be as good as any big state or a big nation and be able to contribute much more. Just because we have less population doesn't mean we cannot contribute more. It depends on how we plan, how we focus, and how we build up our manpower and our human resource. And that's really what our target is. And for a year and a half, we have sent close to about 50 nurses, and we are now going to be in the pipeline itself. We have about close to 500 nurses who are learning Japanese as we speak, and I expect that these numbers will swell up to about 2,000 to 3,000, and maybe hopefully even 5,000 in the next 3 to 4 years' time. And that's the kind of focus with which we are working on the human resource aspect. And as we get comfortable with this entire process, I hope that we'll be able to expand our the areas in which they work from just nursing to other skills also, and we could be a very strong human resource provider for Japan. Just to share with you, Japan, of course, as we all know, has an aging population. Meghalaya is, India is young, and Meghalaya is even younger. So almost 45% of our population is below the age of 19. So that's how young we are.
and there were a lot of kids. That's why music and football and sports is very popular in our state, and that's why as a government we are really focusing on that too. The second area which is very, very important for us is agriculture. And again, we have already started working in agriculture with a firm in Japan, and the location is in Miyagi, and the firm is called Yats Corporation Company Limited. And we actually have imported their machines which make the logs through sawdust, with sawdust for the shiitake mushroom. And we are only now preparing this. We have a massive program under the self-help group where we are supporting to the mission, mushroom mission we have, where these logs are being now given, and training is being given, finance is being given. The people are being sent to Japan, to Miyagi to be trained. I will be going myself maybe in about 2-3 months time to Miyagi to further expand into what more could be done. So again, as I said, we are not a large state.
Platform is a good platform to share that. And we, the Meghalaya government in our state, may be one of the first states in the country